remember, I want to thank you today for coming. We want to take a little bit of time and give you...
I didn't know that clapping my hands gets you started.
Oh,
I guess that's...
You've taught me. You've taught me how to do that. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
I know.
And then we start.
Pavlov's dog's kind of like. All right. Well, that's how we start the show. Okay. We actually start the show right after the clap. And then you give it about 3-4 seconds. Great. And then you start.
Okay. So we kind of I wanted to bring Al in as the producer. Him and his wife are in the back in the shadows producing this podcast and others we're hoping in the future. And I wanted an opportunity to introduce the team and what we're doing and possibly even share with you a little bit of our view of where we're going from here. So Al, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, Kathy and I produced a podcast. We started by producing a podcast called Vid Talk, Wedding Video Talk, but truncated, back in 2005, or in the spring of 2005. In the fall of 2004, I had learned of a word that had just been coined called podcast. And interestingly enough, over the years, people have told me now and again, you have a really nice voice. And I always shrugged it off as, that's nice to know. What am I going to do with that? I really have no interest in becoming a voiceover person or anything. But when I learned about the word podcast and what it meant and what it was, I just said, I can put that voice to use. I had been in the wedding video business for many, many, many years. I had risen in that industry. My wife and I had both risen. We were doing seminars and workshops for the National Association. It was called the Wedding and Event Videographers Association, WEVA. We actually did a couple of podcasts for them too back in the day. But so we started the podcast in 2005 and we ran it till 2010. We were pioneers in that business all along trying to monetize it, but it was so early in the business that it was just difficult to get people and companies that were able to sponsor to even think of the idea and see the value in it. So the podcast ran through 2010. The industry was kind of waning there was a little bit of a wane, and we sort of phased out and actually never went back. But we packed up we had the equipment and we were using it for voiceovers and stuff for our video production because we're also mainly video producers.
So you were ahead of the curve of today, where podcast is today.
Oh, yeah.
You were at the very beginning.
Interestingly, we were just at PodFest 2025 in Orlando, and we were talking to some of the people, and two, in fact, said, wow, you guys are OGs in this business. So, so we retired, we moved to Florida. All the equipment is in a box in the attic and in storage, and lo and behold, Mark starts bringing up the idea of podcasts. And we're all reacting to the events of last November and the election and thinking, what can we do? What else can we do? And
I saw that
you opened up a can of worms.
Not at all. I'm a big believer in progression and forward thinking, critical thinking, and that's going to be a whole nother podcast for us coming up. But I found in speaking with the younger people, much younger than us, that's where they were getting most of their information.
Yeah.
From the Brian Tyler Cohen and Midas Touch. And it really exploded during the election. But it is a source of news. And I felt really strongly that on the liberal side, there were a lot of opportunities for the liberal group and I'm not going to use the word Democrats because it's a bigger picture than that, that we were not using that space
Right.
as good as we should.
We-
And I had been looking for expertise to help me and others be in front of this microphone and share our thoughts, share what we see the news is, or things of interest, or things that may be important. And you guys stepped up.
Well, how it happened was you mentioned it at our Blue Forum, and Kathy jabs me in the
As
in
a
the- in
wife
the
should.
chest with- she's there sitting next to me, and I was like, no, wait, let's not, be paid. I guess I was. Listen, I'm the one who says we should have both political philosophies within us, conservatism and liberalism.
I totally
and that was
agree.
the conservative side of me saying, whoa, wait, be cautious. But, then I said, it's now or never. This is what's lacking. We have the resources, the microphones, the equipment, the knowledge. Let's just put it to use. Let's help in this regard. So that's why we're here. That's
Yeah.
why we're doing these. We're trying to develop a few other podcasts. We're trying to find voices within the community that are strong and powerful and have something to say. And so, I just want to say from this moment on, you certainly haven't seen Kathy. You won't be seeing much of me because I'll be behind the camera there, and dealing with these microphones. But we hope that folks will step up and lend their voice to, starting with Palm Coast and then further Flagler County, and hopefully your voice will go further than that still. So we hope people will step up.
Exactly.
And, be guests of Mark, and be guests with Conversations in American Democracy, which is another podcast that we'll be producing, and hopefully a few others. So with that,
Yeah, Al and his wife are instrumental in the quality and the ability to put this information out for you to enjoy. And I applaud them, and I am thankful that they are giving me and others a chance to share our thoughts and a lot of facts and clarification of what's going on locally and even nationally as need be. So with that, I just want to thank you guys. I look forward to a long partnership, and I'm excited to see where this podcast studio, if you will, source of multiple, and share it to the public that really needs to hear some things that are going on. So thanks a lot, Al. I
You
really
bet.
appreciate
You
it.
bet.
How are we doing today? I appreciate you stopping by to ponder with me the events that have been going on in the last week or so. What a roller coaster we're going through. I don't even think that our local news organizations can keep up with the hour by hour change in issues that are going on. And I believe it's intentional. I believe that Donald Trump and his administration are purposely dropping, sharing, saying things for shock value, and it's affecting what I like to defer as the oxygen in the room. So I want today to try to focus on thoughts I'm having that I want you to think about. Now I'm going to give you some homework, and that homework is I want you to go do a superficial, a shallow dive into Project 2025. And the reason is prior to the elections, the Democrats, the liberals, were beating this drum to death about this imaginary, this book that nobody agreed, nobody thought it was anything about it. And the Republicans and the conservatives said, don't look at that. It's a waste of time. It doesn't mean anything. There's no value to it. So I'm asking you to check that. And I think you're going to find that many of these ideas, many of these goals and objectives that are in that book, that are in that plan, have become very clear and directional. So I accept the concept of speaking. Oh, he just said that. I'm a man that looks at actions. I believe that words are important. And you're listening to me now, words are important. But I don't want you to buy and believe everything I tell you. I want you to verify it for yourself. I want you to go and look and see what directions within Project 2025 are actually clearer, are actually in his EOs, his executive orders. And then I want you to ask yourself, is it real? Is it really a direction they're having? And it will, as it has me, it should scare you. It should get you very concerned about what their view of our government is going to be. And it's not just the last 2 weeks. Project 2025 is a 1-year plan. Within it, there's a 180-day plan of people in place. They're doing that. Control of various fundings. They're doing that. The abolishment of the Department of Education. There's at least 30 or 40 things, and I could pull them up and we could go over them together, but that's not what I want you to do today. I challenge you to learn, take a moment, Google Project 2025, and look and see what they're doing, how they're moving, and how and when or if it could affect you. Because those are actions. And I believe in actions. I believe in trust. When he said he was going to pardon all of the J6ers, he did it. That was an action. Most of the stuff that he's doing now, he said he was going to do it. Nobody believed him. They thought it was just words. You know, there's this old adage that people like to say about politicians. If their lips are moving, yeah, they're lying to you. So if they're talking to you, they must be lying to you. Donald Trump is not lying to you. Donald Trump has an agenda, has a plan, and has people around him that are going to help him, excuse me, and they're going to try to be successful. So that's what I've been pondering a lot lately. I've stayed away from all the specific noise and all the things that are occurring because I'm not worried about what happens tomorrow. I'm not even worried about what happens next month. But I am worried about what happens 6 months from now after the election of these 4 potential Democrats in the House. That is a whole nother story that we can address. But when you look at Project 2025, they have a road plan. They have a guideline of things they want to do with religion, with your Social Security, your Medicare, privatizing VA. That's important to me. I'm a disabled veteran. I use my veteran benefits. I couldn't imagine if I could no longer go to a VA hospital and I had to go what's called community care, where you have to go and enter in an agreement and deal with and find a doctor in your area. So, yes, these things are going to touch us all. We're not immigrants. We're not the people we're seeing on the news. Don't get caught up into the drama that's seeing that going on. It's terrible. It's horrendous. It's misuse. It's so disturbing. But today, I want to talk about Project 2025. I want you to go educate yourself, and I want you to look at what it said and what he's done. How he's changed the OMB. Very clearly in there, I don't know if you remember, he signed this letter freezing all this funds. That was verbatim out of Project 2025. And he did that. And he doesn't care about the courts. He doesn't care about the judges blocking him. He doesn't care about all these other things. His goal is to move as quick and as fast as possible to make these changes because he's on a clock. I heard the other day, he sure isn't acting like a lame duck president. And for those that don't know, a lame duck politician is someone who cannot be reelected. He has no motivation to hold things back or to restrict his goals and objectives because he doesn't have any reason to save it for another term. Now, we are hearing some interesting conversations about a third term, and that's all noise at this point. I don't want you to get caught up in that. I want you to learn, take 10 minutes on Google to see what is Project 2025 now that he has it laid out in front of him, and that will give you a better understanding, and it won't feel very good, of what the potential future is going to be like for this country. So that's your homework. That's what I expect you to do. And I'm looking forward to sharing with you more of that in the future. And I really appreciate you stopping by and taking a moment to ponder the things that are going on. I think next episode, I really want to dig into the local with the Palm Coast and the water issues and other things. So remember to please subscribe and like so that we can build, because it gives us feedback of who's hearing and if they like it. And eventually we hope to even expand so that we can hear your feedback. With that, thank you so much for coming by. I look forward to seeing you again.